Hi, this is your host, and this is part 3 of our exploration of the best short stories ever written. If you're new here, join us every Monday for a great new short story and every Friday for an opportunity to vote and the next story we read. The poll closes in one day, so hurry up and cast your vote. Today we have a story that begins with death and ends with hope. Slow Sculpture by Theodore Sturgeon is a novella originally published in 1949 and won the first Nebula Award for Best Short Story. It was also reprinted in several magazines, including a Science Fiction Digest in August of 1950, which included this beautiful cover by Ed Valigersky. In a note written in 1961, Sturgeon said he wrote the story after seeing a man break off a branch of a young cherry tree to make a quick graft. He realized how patient and loving the gardener must have been over the years to make it grow so successfully. This inspired him to write about the bonsai grower and the boy who learns from him. Let's meet our bonsai artist. Well, he's not called that at first. He doesn't even like being called Mr. Adams. He wants to be called Thomas, but no one does call him Thomas. And he has a small shop surrounded by an orchard where he sells bonsai trees and teaches students. He likes teaching children, but they always want their plants to look like certain cartoons. He says when they get a little older and can draw, they want the tree to look exactly like the picture in their minds, and then he has to break it to them gently that this isn't possible. One day he gets a new student, a boy of 12 whose father brings him in to learn obedience and respect for nature. The father thinks his son needs a harsh master, but the old man says that is not the way. He takes the boy into his orchard and shows him his prized possession, a dwarf apple tree planted in a deep green glazed jar. It's almost too beautiful to bear looking at, and the boy is mesmerized by it. The old man asks the father if he knows what the boy is looking at and what it is that he wants. The father doesn't know. He thought he was showing the boy a bonsai, not giving him a lecture. The old man tells him the boy wants to make that tree, and the father laughs. The old man tells him to let the boy do it and to come back in 2 weeks, and he'll show them the result. The father is dubious, but he leaves the decision up to the boy who wants to try. So he gives the boy a shovel and tells him to plant a seed and make the tree. The old man says that's not how it's done. He tells the boy he will show him in 2 weeks. The boy watches the old man dig the hole, place the tree, and fill in the dirt. Then the old man puts the pot in a corner and tells the boy he can water it when he wants. In 2 weeks, the father comes back to see if anything has grown. At first, he sees no change. There is nothing there but weeds. But then he notices a tiny shoot pushing out from under the weeds. He tells the old man he should have just given the kid a branch and saved him the trouble. The old man replies that it would have been easier to break a branch off than to pull it out of the ground, but that would have been cheating. He tells the father the hardest thing about making bonsai is knowing how long to wait. It's harder to be patient than to prune a branch. Sometimes you have to wait months or years. You can tell when a tree is ready by the rings inside the trunk. Each ring is 1 year. When you cut across a branch, you can count the rings and know how old it is. The old man picks up the pot and shows the father the roots are already growing around the edge of the pot. They're like the roots of a mountain pine. All he needs to do now is pull the branches down. He'll need to wire them to the pot to keep them there while the roots grow out. The father still thinks this is ridiculous, but lets the boy continue. The boy spends all his time watering and caring for the tree and checking the branches to see if they've regrown enough so he can start training them. He checks every day, sometimes twice a day. Finally, after 6 months, the branches are long enough and the old man prunes them and wires them down. The boy is very proud of his work. The old man tells him he has a good eye. He says, "You like strong branches, don't you?" "Good. We'll give him strong branches, yes." The father is shocked. He told the old man he wanted the boy to learn obedience and respect for nature. But the old man has turned him into his partner. The boy is beaming now, and the father can't help but smile. So he says, "Well, I guess that settles it. Let's call him Mr. Adams." The old man says, "Call him Thomas," but no one does call him Thomas. Over the next few years, the bonsai artist teaches the boy everything he knows. The boy helps the old man in the shop and learns to make bonsai trees himself. He even wins a blue ribbon at the state fair, which makes the old man very happy because he never won a blue ribbon. One day, the boy asks the old man why he teaches him these things. The old man tells him he didn't teach him anything. He says, "You already knew them all, didn't you?" The boy asks what he means, but the old man just keeps pruning a branch. Finally, he looks up and tells the boy the most important thing is to know what you want to say and then find the way to say it. He says there's no use in learning if you don't have anything to say. He tells the boy to go out in the orchard and find a tree that speaks to him, take it in the shop, and show him what he can do with it. The boy finds a tree and brings it in. He works on it for days, but no matter what he does, it doesn't look right. He throws down his tools and goes to watch the old man work. The old man doesn't say anything. He just prunes a branch and wires it into place. Then he steps back and looks at it for a moment. He tells the boy the tree wants to be small, so he's fighting the tree instead of helping it. He tells the boy to look inside the tree to see what it wants to be. The boy does, and he sees that it wants to be a large tree with low branches. The old man smiles and tells him that's a beautiful tree. He tells the boy that the first rule of bonsai is you don't make a bonsai. You let the tree be a bonsai. He says, we just help a little. That's all. A few years pass and the old man is getting up in years. His eyesight isn't what it used to be and his hands shake so badly he can barely hold the pruners. The boy, who is now a young man, takes over making the bonsai while the old man watches. One day, the old man asks the boy to come to the window and look at the orchard. He says, "See that big tree over there by the fence? It was a little seedling once. I planted it myself, I think." The young man nods. The old man says, "Well, there's the difference between us. It grew that way without me. But my bonsai, they wouldn't grow like that. I had to put a lot of work into them." The young man says, "That's all gone now. I'm sure those trees could live without you." The old man shakes his head and says, "No, I don't think that's true. They need me." And that's the difference between bonsai and trees. The young man stops working and goes to the window to look at the tree. The old man was pointing out. He remembers when he broke the branch off to make a bonsai and how the tree looked when he put it in the pot. He thought it was the most beautiful thing in the world. He realized then what the old man meant about needing the tree, how the tree needed the old man. And he understands now that it wasn't the tree that needed the old man. It was him that needed the tree. The young man returns to his work and the old man goes home. He sits on his porch watching the sunset and thinking about the past. He remembers when he was young and full of idealism, when he thought he could change the world. He made big plans and tried to implement them, but nothing worked out the way he wanted. He stopped trying to change the world and started taking care of bonsai trees. He felt like he was making progress, but he wasn't really. He was just keeping his bonsai alive. He realizes now that he never really changed. He's still trying to change the world, just in a different way. He smiles, knowing that it's all going to be all right. He's left the bonsai to the young man, but he knows the young man will never stop learning. He will continue to grow and change, and that makes him happy. And that's our story. I'm curious, did you get the feeling this story was about more than just bonsai? What do you think the bonsai represent? And what do you think this little sculpture represents? Let me know in the comments and be sure to vote in the poll for our next story. Thanks for listening. See you next time.